I believe there are some interesting things also which has happened also in the software industry over the last few years. Again, yeah, I mean, coming from a community which is we are basically into certification services, doing audits. I remember the pain possibly somebody would undergo when we go and do an audit, ask for evidences, ask for records, ask for documents, and now of course you're moving to a situation where you have you want to move to a producing mode actually, but only if you're engineered well, if your processes are stable, if you are good enough, you can move to this producing mode. I remember again once here that what is standardized can move to a producing mode actually. If there is no standardization, if there is customization needed, it still leaves me wondering how you can go to a producing mode actually. And then today, especially with IT services, not a product company, but IT services working out of India, for them, a lot of time it can be a lot of customization. Unless you're working for a product group, a product company, and then you're part of their group, and then doing some work for them, it can be a lot of customization. So there it still leaves you with a lot of challenges actually. And how do you overcome this? And I remember, especially as I said, coming in from an auditing fraternity, it's always a challenge for us when we go back and do some audits in terms of looking at what is, we are so used to the CMI model or the conventional model where we're looking at a lot of records and documents. And when we go these days, it becomes a little bit very tight and you don't see many things actually. So that is what leaves us also a little wondering. Hopefully, I'm hoping that you will make sure that there is a compromise actually. Yeah. Okay, so and then you balance this out and make sure that you can take up this in a way that there's a balanced approach towards moving. You make sure at the cost of meeting the faster development requirements, you will not compromise on any of the quality and other requirements that you're supposed to be looking at actually. So just these few things from my end, and then once again, Spin Bangalore chapter, yes, thank you also for having us as the sponsors, and look forward to many more successful years for you here in Bangalore actually. Yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was crisp and really good. Request you to stay on stage as we have a small memento of respect. To do the honors, I'd like to call upon onto the stage Mr. Sajid. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Bring your hands together for Mr. Nandakumar S., who within a short span of time delivered a lot of things. Okay, all right. Now, there's something interesting happening. We have Mr. Nadeemulla who will be joining us in a short while to show something innovative happening in between you. But before that, he steps in. I have one signature game of mine, which is going to be very interesting. Listen carefully. I'm just going to come to about 4 to 5 people. Listen carefully. I'm going to come to you, ask you some simple questions individually. You need to answer to my questions. While you're answering to my questions, you're not supposed to use yes, no, I think so, and maybe. I repeat. Yes, no, I think so, and maybe. Don't use it. Without using these things, you've got to answer to my questions. You need to be fast enough. Same answer, you shouldn't repeat it again and again. Answer yes should be in English itself. And relevant to my questions. Okay? Request you to be ready with the prizes. So let's begin with this. I repeat once more. You're not supposed to use yes, no, I think so, and maybe. You need to answer to my questions. You've got to be fast enough. Same answer, shouldn't repeat it again and again. And it's not a presentation kind of a game. It's a hilarious game. It'll make you laugh like anything. And probably you'll get to know a lot of facts of your friends which you're never aware of. Let's watch out. Let's start from you, sir. Don't use yes, no, I think so, and maybe. Here we go. What's your name?
Basu.
Are you married?
Correct.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Are you married to your wife?
Correct.
Correct. Same answer repeated twice. You're not supposed to do so. Anyways, 3 questions, not bad. Let's give a big round of applause to them, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations, sir. You exceeded about 3 questions. You get a small prize to you. Could we have the people who wants to try put your hand up in the air so that I can come to you directly? Okay, all right. You want to win more of the gifts? Here we go. Are you Mr. Ready? Maybe. Okay, all right. I see the tag there, and then I ask him, are you ready? He says, maybe. Is this lunch effect, sir? Okay, anyways, you could answer your questions. Let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Reddy. Maybe we're not supposed to use sir. Okay, yeah, let me try with you. What's your name, Prashant? Prashant. Are you married? Thinking. Okay, all right, Prashant, the game is over. Are you actually married? Then why were you thinking? Plans for the new one? Or do you have your wife around here? No? That's why you're not telling it out. Okay. Oh, all right. So in that case, you are aware of many wives which he's got. Huh? How come you are aware so much about him? Okay, anyone else? Okay. So let me try with you before I go to him. What's your name? Sandeep. You have mustache? Thinking. You do have it, sir. Okay. Are you Mr. Bikash? Thinking, and then you say, I guess. Okay. Mr. Bikash, you gotta be fast enough, okay? No thinking time. Here we go. You have kids? Supposed to be? Yeah. Yeah. Supposed to be later on when I asked you supposed to be, you said yeah. Yeah is also yes. Now you said no. Okay, all right. You could answer about 2 questions, but not bad, Mr. Bikash. You get 1 prize for you. Could we give 1 prize to Mr. Bikash? Somebody else? Let me try with the person who's been working hard. Since from the morning, he's standing. I appreciate your stamina. He's looking at the camera. Where is this guy coming close to me? Could I have you here? Because if I come there, it will scream. Okay, here we go. Do you love photography?
I'm looking at the camera.
You love the camera?
I am looking at the camera, that's all.
Same thing you've been repeating again and again. You know what? You stand here itself, you've been capturing a lot of people in the camera. You'll be here itself. Let the camera capture you for a long time. Okay, wonders. You could answer only 1 question. Anyone else? Let me try some ladies. Okay. As soon as I said, let me try with some ladies, all the ladies. Okay, all right. Let me try with you. What's your name?
Anjana.
Are you married? Thinking. People say that 80% of the ladies lie. And she's been thinking about it. Okay, we have one more lady out there. And then we'll come to you, sir. Here we go. Is that your specs, ma'am?
Probably.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Are you married? I don't think so. Okay, anyways, you did not answer anything though, but you could answer 2 questions, and I took off the mic just to get the hilarious moment. You could answer 2, we proceed ahead. Are you married to your husband?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Not married to your neighbor's husband?
Probably.
Probably.
Don't think so.
Oh, don't think so. You repeated it twice. Not bad. Let's give a big round of applause to him. Madam, if you don't think you're married to your husband, whom do you think you're married to? And yeah, when I said neighbor's husband, you said probably. Okay, you get a prize. And not only she gets 2, okay? She could answer about 6 questions probably. 1 for the one who doesn't think that he's her husband, and for the other one who's probably. Okay, I think last 2 contestants. Anybody? You want her to be tried? Why? I'll try you. No, not you. What's your name, sir?
Narasimha.
At lunch?
Right.
Tried, is it?
True.
Are you sure?
Very much.
Have you been to Thailand? Thinking! Okay. Probably there might be a possibility that he might have gone to Thailand without telling his wife. That's why he didn't answer anything for that. If he could answer 3, we could give a prize to him. Let's do a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And your last but one for sure. Here we go. What's your name?
ABC,
You love your Thai?
DEF.
You know what? Answer should be relevant to my questions. Initially itself, while I was walking down, that was the last rule I told, I think. Answer should be relevant to my questions. Okay, alright. Probably it should be like this. What's your wife named Zed? Okay, alright, let's start. And how many kids do you have? BCDE. Okay, let's start. No. You should try now. New rule added, right? Here we go. Are you wearing a suit?
No.
No. You want to try? You look like Amitabh Bachchan. Fine. So let's begin with it. Do you like Amitabh Bachchan's beard?
I like his beard.
That's why you exported this?
That is the reason I supported it.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Are you married?
I am married.
You have kids?
I have kids.
All yours?
All mine.
Not others?
Not others.
You sure?
Very sure.
Are you wearing shoes?
I'm very sure.
You have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Are you sure?
Very much.
Very nice. Let's give a big round of applause to him. Hold on now. Hey. Wait, no, Paro, get 2 more. How many kids do you have, sir? 1. When I asked you all yours, how could you say? 1 is mine, you should have told. You said all are mine. I asked you whole of the street kids of that area. Or you considered whole of the street kids as your kids? Considered only or conceived, that's all. Okay, anyways, so we have two prizes. Oh, no, not this prize. I think you get a better and a bigger prize. Congratulations, you get a chance to win a gift voucher worth about 2,000 rupees. Let's go, a big round of applause, sir. Congratulations. Kindly collect that 2,000 rupees gift voucher from your wife's bank account. Make sure you collect it and don't mess it out. And from our end, I think as you're the winner, we have, I think, 3 prizes for you, out of which 2 you keep it with you, and 1 you give it to somebody who claps loudly for you. Watch out. So please clap for him so that he'll give that 1 prize to you. Could you just be really excited clapping for you? I just asked you, I didn't ask you to go give it to her. So I just asked you. You know what, initially he saw like that and then he's like, no, not in public. Okay, anyway, it was real good fun. You're really smart and you could answer a lot of questions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was my small icebreaker. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you? Congratulations, you all get 1,000 rupees gift voucher from your spouse bank account. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to keep this going on, little excitement and energy and all, the next person coming onto the stage is Agile Lead Consultant from Valtech India. Started off as a researcher at Indian Institute of Science and then worked his way towards business consulting for close to a decade now. Agile is my mantra. This is what took him to a long distance, and he's traveled around the globe doing a lot of researches and also consulting national and international companies. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Nadeemulla Khan, who's going to keep you onto your toes now. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Nadeem.
Check. All right. All right. Welcome all. I am Nadeem. I work for a company called Valtech. This is primarily into IT services and consulting as well. We do a lot of agile consulting, both here and outside. More importantly, today's discussion is on agile innovation games. Right. Coming to the point, how many people have heard of innovation games? Raise your hands. How many people have used innovation games? Raise your hands. Okay, it's quite a few now. So let me get started by fixing the agenda today. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to brief you on what innovation games are all about, right? Set a context. And the best way I have learned in my consulting experience to demonstrate the use of innovation games is to play the game itself. So we are going to play a game, and mind you, this is absolutely serious games, right? I appreciate Asif's awesome game, but this is more directed towards achieving a business value within the context of the business itself, right? So let's switch over hats and let's start talking about innovation games. All right, so I would like to give you a context based on a very different analogy, right? Let's take the gaming industry, right? If you look at the gaming industry, as of 2009, it was around 11 billion, right? Quickly, it grew to around 25 billion, right? So what we are saying is there is an industry that is flourishing. Yes? That's the point? Okay. Now, if you look at the market, if there is an industry that is flourishing, there's obviously a market for it, right? There are people who are enticed, and that's the whole reason why the industry is flourishing. If you look at the market, right, here are the figures. The average game player's age is about 37, right? And if you look at the age demographics, they're almost about all ages who play games, right? Now, let's try and understand why people play games, right? How many people play games here? Like standard mobile games or switched over to VN, whatever, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at why people play games, right? If you look at the most important thing, they work better as teams, right? I don't know if you guys have tried these, network games, strategy games, so on and so forth, right? You work better as teams, right? Other than that, there are other reasons why people play games. Be more competitive, self-actualization, that's more important, socially intriguing, and solving the unsolvable, right? So now what we have seen is there is an industry, there's a market, and we've also understood why there is a market, right? Now here's the thought. If people are enticed in general playing games, can we now look at bringing this into our business world, right? Can we look at, getting games inside our day-to-day work life, right? It has several advantages. One, like we've already seen, people are more challenged, people are more intrigued, people can ideate better, right? And that's the thought that Luke Hoffman from Innovation Games brought in. He did this primary research. He used basically these games to do primary market research, right? Which now has, most of the IT industries who are moving into the agile space have already adapted to, right? So what he did, the game has a goal, right? Remember, the goal here is a business goal, right? It's not about team building. It's not about collaboration. Maybe it is about collaboration, but it's definitely not about team dynamics, right? So it is a more serious game. It has a business goal, and you do require collaboration to innovate, right? And arrive at a business strategy, right? At a very layman context, this is what innovation games are, right? Now, why do innovation games work for most people, right? If you look at the circle of knowledge, right, there are things that you realize you don't know, quite obvious, right? I don't know how to, build a chair, right? Things you realize you know, right? Yeah, I know how to play music. And there are things you don't realize you don't know, or otherwise as well. And these games, in a business context, entice you to and surface that out, making sure that your business is better strategized, right? Does this sound good till here? Yes, no? All right, cool. So let's get started with innovation game. I'm going to demonstrate to you an innovation game called Hot Air Balloon, right? And I will tell you what is the context where you can use this. What we're going to do in the next 15 minutes is actually play the game with you. Yeah? So just a little deeper insight, innovation games definitely help in optimizing collaboration, both at the team level, organization level, and with your clients. Enables ideation, right? Deeper business insight, strengthens customer vendor bond, and make learning fun, right? Now let's quickly jump into our game called Hot Air Balloon, right? Where is this used? I'm sure most people are from software and other verticals, and the common problem that most people face is requirement gathering, right? Now, if you get the requirements right, you get everything right, almost, right? But the challenge is to get the requirements right. Now, given a situation, suppose, you've got a sales deal, you worked it out, and you've gone there for inception, or requirement gathering in the other sense, right? So you're incepting now, you put down a schedule, whatever your schedule looks like, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Question is, where do you start? Most people employ the method of saying that, okay, here's what we've understood, right? Here's what our solution is, and tell us whether it works or not. There are two problems associated with that. One is that you are running your entire solution around a lot of assumptions, right? And second, there is no room as a vendor for your creativity to come forward, right? If somebody comes to me, if I'm the customer, and if that guy is demonstrating and making more sense than me, I would be more interested in talking to him, rather than somebody who's just going to go do my job, right? So the mindset of people have changed because of the competition. Now, let's look at Hot Air Balloon. Okay. All right. So here's how it works. The game has two parts, right? One, fly high. The other is unable to fly, right? What I want you guys to do in the next 15 minutes is do a role play, right? And I'm going to take a very, very simple, basic example to demonstrate how innovation games can be used in ideation, especially in a business context, irrespective of the verticals that you guys are in, right? So the example that we are going to take is of a perfume store. Let's assume that you guys all are business partners for a perfume store. Let's say perfume.com, right? You have offline stores and you have been able to make pretty good business out of it. Now, you see an opportunity that, yes, it is time we become more online, right? We become more tech savvy. So your goal is to get a portal out in the market so that you can enable collaboration with your customers and increase your revenue, sales revenue, right? So your end ROI or the goal or the vision here is to make sure that you increase your sales by tapping the online market. Make sense? Yes, no, please be more, this is agile, please. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is the example, this is the context, and you guys will all play roles of business partners, as if you guys have a say in making of this product. Yes? All right. Now here's how the entire thing boils down to. I'm sorry, I'm like I think you guys would have guessed, pretty bad at sketches, right? This is supposed to be a hot air balloon, my version of it. Excuse me if it doesn't even, yeah, I don't know what this is, but let's assume that this is an hot air balloon because it is somewhere looks like hot air balloon. Now, let's assume that the perfume.com example that we took, right, is actually the balloon itself. Yes? Okay. Now, the balloon needs to fly high. Yes? Yes? Right. So what is required for the balloon to fly high is the inertia, right? So if we assume that the balloon is our product, which is perfume.com, and our vision is to come up with a strategy to tap the online market by creating a portal, what is it that will make it successful? Make sense? Yes? I'm just going to give you some examples. Please don't write that on the post-its. This is just to help you out. Example, if I am going to write a success factor for my product to be successful in the online space, I'm going to say, you know what, it really needs to be SEO, search engine optimized. Just a simple example. Yeah? So like that, please think about what are the success factors that you would attribute so that the balloon always flies high, or in otherwise, your product is successful in the market. Make sense? Yes? So now what we're going to do for this is every round table has few post-its, and because there are a lot of people, people who are sitting around the table will become one team, right? So you have like 12 teams, and the last 3 rows there will become one team, the last 3 rows here, and the last 3 rows there. Yes? Okay. What I want you guys to do, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, please write down collectively, not individually, collectively, because that's collaboration again, right? So collectively bring out the 2 success factors that you guys think as a team. Yes? Make sense? Please, yes or no? Agile, please. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Yeah, sorry. Post-its, yeah, someone will be circulating that to you guys. So please talk to each other, collaborate, and give the facilitators 2 post-its per team. Yes? All right. All right, thank you all. Now let's take a look at what we have done. Okay. All right, so based on things like social network, fan club, personalization, marketing needs to be there. Then you have things like advertising, visibility on social network, Facebook, etc. Then you also have, most important point here is the Google search on top, which is the SEO part, right? So that's one theme. Most people have voted for that, or most people think that that is more important. Then you have the aesthetics part, right? Which is more in terms of, okay, it has to simulate, sample what it smells like, right? Can you guys think of something like this? Yeah? How would you do that? Yeah, how?
Come on, don't question the visibility.
No.
It's okay if it's not.
No, the point, wait, please. The reason why I asked that question is because this is a room for ideation, right? Nobody would think, at least most people haven't thought of free samples. This is a great idea according to me, right? I mean, I'm a perfume connoisseur myself. If I were to buy a perfume, I would rather order an online free sample, try it, even if it costs me twice as much, I'm ready to buy it, right? So this kind of ideation is probably the most important of all the others, right? So that's the point I was trying to explain, right? Now, whether it is feasible or not is a different question altogether. Now let's start looking at other things like standard things, delivery method, right? Somebody spoke about door-to-door delivery, right? Which means cash on delivery, which is quite common today, Flipkarts and everybody else have that. Quality, most important. Categorization of products, for better user experience. People have spoken about user experience as well. And most important, secure transactions, right? Wonderful. All these things look good. Now, let me take you to the second part of this game. Suppose, right? If your balloon, you were to imagine it to be tied to the ground by ropes, right? No matter what inertia you give, of course, after a certain point, right, the balloon would not fly. Yes? Yes? Now, let's put that analogy into our example, right? Into our product, which is perfume.com. Now, I want you guys to think about what are the constraints that would fail the product blatantly, right? One way of looking at it, smarter way, is just flip all these things. Obviously, it's going to fail. But that's not, that's quite simple, right? Even a first-handed kid would probably say the same. But let's start ideating. Let's start thinking more in terms of, okay, this is my constraint, okay? If this constraint is not removed, then it is rest assured that my product is going to fail. Example, let me give you an example. If I don't choose the right vendor for the development, right, who understands technology, example, let's take this example of, sample free perfume type, right? Or let's say COD, for example, cash on delivery. If I don't choose the right vendor who's going to enable this for me, right, with the right choice of technology, no matter what I want, it's going to fail. Yes? Make sense? Yeah. So I give you 5 more minutes. Again, the same rule. As a team, bring out 2 constraints that will ensure that if you do this, or if this happens, your product is going to fail. Yes? Make sense, everybody? Yes. Yeah. Good. Cool. So your time starts now. This time, please write 1 per post-it. Some people have kind of written it all in one, so it becomes very difficult for me to create things. All right? 5 more minutes. Please write the constraints. All right, so let me sum this up for you. It's a pretty interesting thought process that's run around here, which is pretty good because most of the time people try to flip this over. It's quite easy to do, but I think you guys have really thought through this. right? Most important that I see is the marketing channel, right? If we choose the wrong marketing channel, right, then no matter what you do, your product is going to fail, right? Things like market accessibility, wrong or low class of advertisements based on your channel, right? Then absence of branding, lack of promotions, pricing is different. The next important thing people have spoken about is the delivery mechanism itself, right? So in terms of, we're talking about the right in-time response to my customer, right? Which is going to drive me more value, business value. Then the most important thing people have spoken about is pricing, you need to, I think this is a common business problem, like how, if you price it right, you make money, customers are happy, right? So that's always a pretty difficult proposition for any business person to deal with. And more important, security. I think that's a flip over. Even in terms of performance, right? I think somebody has really thought through saying that if it is going to be a B2C, if we are going to go back to our customers online, then definitely it has to be more faster, right, and better. Then the right choice of vendor, right, and more important, last is the product catalog itself. If you have an exhaustive catalog, right, which kind of makes things pretty bad for the user experience, then there are all chances that things may go wrong, right? Now, the last part of this game, unfortunately, I cannot do it with everybody in the room today, right? So I am just going to pick, say, this team, right, that is present in front of me. This concept is called dot voting. Anybody heard of it? Yeah, it was made famous by Martin Fowler, right? Question really is, how do I prioritize this? Right? It's quite common to, sit down and ideate. But what is it that I'm going to take first? What is more important for me, right? Is what drives everything for you. This is easy to do, honestly. But the next part is what, gets you down your strategies, right? For you to be able to do that, there is a small game called dot voting. Every individual, right, would get 5 votes to cast, right? You could cast only a maximum of 3 votes to any one theme that you feel is really important than the rest. But you cannot cast all the 5. Yes? That's the only rule. Make sense? Yeah? The reason why I'm telling this is I'm going to connect the entire analogy back to your requirement gathering phase. I think most of you have already connected this, right? But it's important when you're going as a vendor and talking to your customer, it's important for you to be able to drive information on which you can harvest, on which you can do whatever you guys want to do. But it's important to get the information in the right way. Yes? So, quickly, you get 3 minutes. Each of you has 5 votes, right? Come over, I'm going to give you a pen. You can drop what is important. You can drop your votes on by just putting a dot. Yes? Max of 3 for any theme that you think is more important, and max of 3 there as well. Yes? Yes? Every individual has 5 votes. Make sense? Cool. Quickly, come over. Yeah. Can you have your pens? I would love every one of you to come and vote, but because of lack of time, we're just doing this with this team. Is that fair? Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at this. We have the team has voted that. Excuse me, sir. Can you just? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So the team has voted that social marketing, right, or marketing in general, is more important than any of the above. Now remember, it doesn't mean that categorization is unwanted. Please don't take it that way, right? This is also important, but it's always relative, right? Then assessment, then delivery method and quality. On the constraint side, I think most people have voted for the marketing channels, right? Then the performance, security, and delivery, right? Now, let's just stop here, right? And let's take the situation where, Okay, let's take the situation where, as a vendor, you've gone there for requirement gathering, right? And you've obtained this information, right? Now, in a inception mode, what do you think this is? Anybody?
Charter?
Yeah?
Charter?
Charter, okay. Prioritization is fine, it's a part of the process, but if you look at the information, I'm sorry? Absolutely, right? It may not necessarily be a backlog per se, but yeah, exactly. So when you're out there and when you want to explore information out from your client, this game is going to do that effectively for you. You could do it otherwise as well, no issues, right? But what is more important here, which is pretty difficult to demonstrate in a crowd of 100 people, is the way you collaborate, the way you ideate, and the way you prioritize as a team. And that's important, right? Quite often, requirement gathering challenges, you have multiple stakeholders. CXO, CEO, CMO, CTO. Every person has his own stake in the product, right? So how do you prioritize? You don't do the dirty job, right? You get them to do it, right? Which makes more sense for them and for a vendor like you, right? So that's how all these things just moves around. So let me sum it up for you. What I have right now is at least a list of broad features that my product needs to have, or at least a high-level requirement, right? What I have on this side, if anybody can look at, is the high-level rates, risk, assumptions, issues, and dependencies, right? You could further take this and classify them into rates, but at least at a high level, you have that to start off with, right? And of course, there are a lot of other games to drill down, and so on and so forth, but this was just a demonstration of one of the innovation games. The goal here is to get started during your requirement phase. And the biggest challenge in doing that is, it's difficult for you to understand what the customer wants. So the best way to do this is get it out of him, right? Rather than you interpreting that and playing Chinese whisper all along the delivery. Yes? Make sense? Yes. All right. So let's then move on with a few case studies that I want to present to you guys to sum it up. This was just one simple demonstration of the game. There are a lot of games like this. Please visit innovation.com site, and that site has a lot of games. Parallelly, we as Valtech also have innovated on different games, right, which are catering to different needs as well. But what's more important is let's quickly spend 5 minutes to look at the case studies, right? So here's what we learned. Diverse expectation but one goal using hot air balloon. Yes? Agreed? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Be more interactive, it helps. Surface USPs, unique selling propositions. Okay. Derive feature list, that's quite obvious. Uncover obstacles right from the word go. Yes? And I want to just stress this point that most projects fail because they don't capture the rage well, right? And I think you guys know this already, is that most project managers are used to copying the Excel sheets from one project to the other and showcasing that this is the rate. Honestly, that doesn't work. I think a gentleman later lunch also spoke that it's very difficult to apply what you learned in one project directly into another, because the environment changes, people change, skills change, so on and so forth, right? So this is what this game actually does, right? Then plan risk management. Once you know the obstacles, you do mitigation early in the cycle, right? Where can we use this? You could use this to bring out the business case, right? Especially when multiple stakeholders are involved. Product backlog, prioritization, and a flavor of this can actually be used in retrospectives as well, right? However, let's look at the value add in general for innovation games. If you look at these, first of all, know your customer, discover unspoken needs, which are quite common and are the problems for projects to fail. Learn what you shouldn't build and why. This is something that most people miss, right? So rather than knowing what you should build, which is important, I think it's more important for you to know what you should not build, and even more important to know why, right? Build consensus, right? You're collaborating together as a team, as a vendor, as a customer, and you're building consensus to come together as a team, as one business team to achieve a goal. Foster trust relationship, most important. Share tactical knowledge and expertise. right? Unfortunately, this was a very simple example that I could take to demonstrate. The goal was for me to demonstrate the use of a game, right? But if you actually apply this in your business context, you will see that there is, as people ideate, there is a lot of tactical knowledge that is being shared, right? And most important, validate requirements, right? And this value adds are true for any innovation game. Now let me quickly go to the next part, which is the case studies. I'm going to brush through these case studies. These are available online as well. Okay, I'm not going to spend more time on this. If you look at, Qualcomm, for example, it is a world leader in 3G and next generation technology mobiles, right? What they did is they used a game called Spiderweb, Product in the Box, and Start Your Day, which are, standard games that people use, right? And the results were they were able to enhance the existing products, discover new adoption strategies, right? Then there's another company which used Speedboat buy a feature, to elicit, help tutorial and to engage customers more in a more involved way. One more used Spider and Speedboat, right, to achieve rich and useful feedback from the clients, right? Surface key strategies and bring out product roadmaps. Now, what's important for me is what Luke Hoffman has done with innovation games, which is this case study. Right? It may come as a surprise to you, but he used the innovation game to solve a government problem. San Jose residents, neighbors, right? They had a problem. The problem was they wanted to find ways to keep budget issues like raising taxes, cut programs, and increase efficiency. Right? So what Luke Hoffman did is that he used 2020 vision, prune the product tree, and buy a feature. Right? And of course, it required a lot of preparation because the scale is too huge. In fact, apparently they prepared for almost 3 months for the game to be played. Right?